Coming to you from the city of Philadelphia, LRTN presents How's My People? Your favorite spot for Liberian news. With your co-hosts, McGarris Jackson, Daryl Kennedy, Quinita Dunbar, and Fuchsia Shade.
How's my people doing?
We're doing all right.
Welcome back to another episode of How's My People with your co-host Fuchsia Shade.
Daryl Kennedy.
And your boy McGarris Jackson.
And as you can see, we don't have our girl with us, Quinita Dunbar, our health and wellness anchor. She's away at Lincoln University, guys. Woo woo!
Yeah.
But don't be sad, she will be back virtually on our next episode. So keep watching How's My People to see our girl come back.
Okay, guys, so if you've been following us, then you know every single episode this month, we've been giving a shout out to those black people who have been exhibiting black excellence in our past and paving the way for our present and future. Now, we've been talking about the past, but I want to bring it to the present. And I want to give a big shout out to my man, Barack Hussein Obama. You know what I'm saying? If y'all living under a rock and y'all don't know who Obama is, he was the first black president of the United States from 2009 to 2017. So again, another shout out to Barack Obama. If it wasn't for you, a lot of black kids would. It's important to see yourself represented. And I think a lot of government. I know I personally am. I started watching the news more just to see a glimpse of this black man with a African sounding name. You know what I mean? On TV. So I thank you for inspiring me and many other black and brown, Latino, whatever young people to see themselves in a better light. So again, Obama, shout out to you. Now we're going to take it back home to Liberia with an update on a little bit more sadder news. So, as last week, as we talked about, Jerome Brown passed away after being starved for 3 weeks. Now, his parents are being held in a South Beach prison awaiting trial. We'll keep you guys updated as that trial proceeds, and we'll let you know what's going on with that. Don't worry about that. We want justice for Jerome. All right. Now, in continuing with the bad news, this past week, 8 people died following a graduation party in Monrovia, Liberia. Now, allegedly, our sources tell us that, after the graduation party, they went back to the house. They had the generator in the house, and the carbon monoxide poisoning killed them. Now, a lot of you here in America are saying, why would they keep a generator in the house? Yeah, I understand the context of the situation. They're back home in Liberia. They don't really have steady power like that, and a generator is the main source of power for many people there. So they brought the generator, and, being tired, I'm guessing people, maybe a little lucid, they forgot to turn off the generator, and unfortunately we had this tragedy. So we're praying for you guys. Our sympathy goes out to you. Our heart goes out to you. And we just want to know that we here at LRT would like to know what we can do to the family, but we are giving our condolences to you guys. And, God bless y'all.
Yes, that kind of reminds me of, you guys heard that story of, I know, it was kind of a couple years ago where the family was in a house and the house burned down. I think there was about 10 people in the house.
Oh, yeah.
And the house burned down and everybody in the house died, including a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
It was a couple years ago, and I think they all had one funeral service at the same time, and they buried everyone around the same time at the same time. That was pretty devastating.
That must have been a blow for their family.
Yeah, so definitely, Daryl said, we definitely send our condolences because that's something that's rare and heartbreaking at the same time.
Yeah, it really is.
Now, in other news, Mr. Brownie Semuka is back in public eye. If that name sounds familiar to you guys, it's because this is the guy we were talking about a couple weeks ago who was found guilty of stealing $1.2 million from Liberian Soldiers Trust Funds and pleaded that, Ellen made me do it. So He's back again because the Solicitor General, Mr. Semai Serenia Cephas, petitioned for him to be revoked of a Senate seat that he was just elected into
Wow.
after the whole guilty verdict. So now this kind of sparks a new debate. Should he have even been able to, run in the first place? In my personal opinion, I'm thinking, listen, you did this crime. You still haven't paid for it yet. You shouldn't be trusted in the office. But, I mean, that's just me. What are your thoughts?
I think honestly he shouldn't have had the opportunity to have ran again. But you know what I mean? This thing happens very, very often, especially in African culture. You know what I mean? We tend to overlook sometimes certain things, but that's due to the political game.
Yeah.
That's what comes with being a politician. Sometimes, you know what I mean. Certain things are overlooked depending on who you are in society. So
I don't think it just happens in Africa. I think it happens all over the world.
it does.
It's just because it's happening in Africa and there's no progress in the country. And then it's
true.
like public eye as well. You stood for this position. You said you're going to do it. People voted for you. They believed in you. They trust you. And then here you go again, stealing money from the country. Now, should they have elected you? No. Should you step down? Definitely yes. Because what you did was wrong and it was uncalled for, and it was not. It's not being a leader. That's not how leaders present themselves. You stole money from your own country, from the mouths of the people that you said you were defending, that you said you were going to fight for. So what can you really say for yourself? Someone else told you to? That's not a good enough excuse. And regardless of whoever told you to, that's just showing your people that you're a follower and not a leader, in my opinion.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Samuka, I don't think you could plead the devil made me do it.
Yeah.
Even if he did make you do it, I think you should definitely should have taken that time to say, okay, let me reflect on myself. Am I really in the right position? Am I doing the right thing? I think if he would have, taken a step back,
Mm-hmm.
assessed the situation, paid his dues, and then came back after a while, it would have been a great redemption story. You know what I mean? I've been like, listen, this is because I could respect someone who could say, listen, I did something wrong, and I want to change, and you know what I mean, and I'm gonna work towards that change. But for you to just be like, hey, yeah, happy man, I'm gonna keep me.
Right.
Come on, bro. You know what I mean? You have to show that leadership quality in yourself. You're in a prominent position of power. You have to set examples for yourself. You have to set standards for yourself, and people will come after you. Now, that's the next thing I was going to bring up. Like, what kind of legal actions do you think we could take so this can't happen again? I think once we have a situation like this, we need a right law. We need a right law right away to say, listen, no more. We're setting a legal precedent so this will never happen again. Okay, what legal actions do we have so this does not happen again? We don't have precedents. We don't have laws and actions when stuff like this happens. I know here in America, one law happened. They don't have a law for it already. They're making it, right away.
Right.
So what do you think the people could do?
I think government should have better intelligent agencies, especially for Liberia. You know what I mean? Getting together an agency and intelligent agencies that will be able to catch things like this from the rip. You know what I mean? Because this isn't, like you guys said before, this isn't the first time that something like this happened, and politicians go scotch-free, and that's because they hold positions and they rule. You know what I mean? But I feel like with elevating or creating, I guess, kind of that nuance of, hey, this is what we're going to take, this is what we're not going to tolerate, and this is how we're going to move forward, is going to better help the people understand, like, hey, once we get into position of power, if the opportunity presents itself, that, hey, there's a structure that needs to be followed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Agency, that sounds good. Fuchsia today, you got any?
I think that the rules that should be put in place, there really shouldn't be any rules put in place for things like this, because you shouldn't run for a leadership position with the mindset that someone's going to steal.
That's true.
However, if they do steal, which a lot of them do, they should definitely resign. You took your money, now go. Because obviously that was your only goal. And to continue to let you stay in that seat and in that chair, all you're going to do is find a smarter way to steal money and take money from the mouths of your own people that you're in position to represent. So definitely have him go. Bye. Don't want to see you again. You can't even run again. You're just done. You're eliminated. You're disqualified. And the next runner up should be the person to take the position
You know, I also
automatically.
I just have one more question. I wonder if the people, like the Liberian people, actually knew that he actually did such things, and if they would have voted for him, if they really knew the extent into which he took from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If the people of Lofa County actually knew this guy, Mr. Brown, if they knew that he stole this 1.2 million prior to his whole electoral campaign or his election, like, you know, his campaign, did they know? Because if they did know, I'm not sure if they would have voted for him or not.
I think that's the problem. I think, the problem also lies in the people as well. So I think, yes, they did know ahead of time
Okay.
because it was afterwards that he was voting. And so he was already, that was the baffling thing. And then people from the Lofa County, listen, we love you. We're all Liberia, you know what I mean? But people from the Lofa County were saying, oh, you did that, they want, that La Lofa made it, want pushing, you did la power grab, there was like saying that like politics is not a sport.
That was
You know what I mean?
kind of.
We're all trying to work towards a common goal here. So definitely, guys, and I love what you said about the intelligence agencies. We need someone separate out of the government, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Who, we don't know their identities like that, who investigate these people. We have to have a standard, and if you break those standards, you should be kicked out. I think we should have that written down, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, but this is all hot and bothered. Got my temperature up, guys. I'm going to have to cool down. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
What's going on? I want to say thank you to LRTN for all the great work that they're doing in the community, trying to broadcast the right information for you guys. All right, so if you need that type of service, please reach out to them. Check out their social medias and everything. These guys are doing great.
My name is Isaiah Cooper. I reside in Philadelphia, and shout out to LRTN.
And we're back with entertainment with your girl, Fuchsia Shade. So guess what, guys?
What?
Skinny Boy Pato tour is, his North American tour, by the way, is official. It will be taking place May 2021 all the way to August 2021. And he will be making a stop to a very familiar city to all of us, Philadelphia. Hey. So I'm definitely going to be there shaking, rocking. I will be front row because I love his music. So if he's coming to a city near you. All right, guys. So I've heard it all, but I haven't heard anything about the LEAs, the Liberian Entertainment Awards. What's going on with it, guys? Everything is on a shh. This is one of the biggest night in Liberian entertainment, especially for the people that are here in the U.S. We dress up, we go all out, we spend all of our income tax money to make sure we look good, all right? If we were suffering all year, you will not tell, because we will be shining at the LEA. What are we going to do, guys? What are we going to do in the beginning of March without the LEAs?
I know, like the LEA has been such a major event for years now. I think it's like their 10th time, maybe like their 10th year doing the LEA. I'm not 100%
I think this was their 10th year anniversary. No, last year was their 10th year. I think this is like their 11th.
I'm not really
Correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
Yeah. I'm not sure, but I know that the LEA, it's like an event where everyone in the community who's been doing something in the community goes there and they collect that praise and that accolades of what they have done. You know what I mean? So it's like, wow. But for me, it's more of the fashion, okay? The extravagant ball gowns, the African attires. He is here for it. But sadly, COVID has taken away everything. And unfortunately, for the second year in a row, it's at the expense of the LEA. But, what can we really do? I thought they would probably have gone virtual. Everything is being done virtually now. So,
virtual would have been a great idea.
Yeah, to give those people those awards that deserve it, And then also, too, like, LRTN is on the block right now. So that would have been an opportunity for us to collect our awards, too. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
But, hey, maybe next year.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad that, I don't know about you guys, but I'm like newer to the Liberian scene. You know what I mean? I've been Liberian my whole life, but you know what I'm saying. But like as far as like getting into Liberian music and entertainment stuff like that, I'm just now like coming around to it because you know my girl Fuchsia Shadays always keep me updated. You know what I mean? I follow her on the LRTN 215 on Instagram. She's always you know what I mean she's doing live shows, live interviews and stuff like that. So like I'm getting into it because I'm like okay. We got okay. I'm rocking
we
myself.
Got tunes, okay? We got tunes.
And definitely, I'm seeing the fashion that's coming out. I'm seeing like the flavor. I'm just like, wow, my people are really doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
like,
they are.
So I was like kind of sad that I didn't get to update my playlist. You know what I'm saying? Update my fashion. You know what I mean? New lingos or whatever.
Right.
I want. You know what I mean? So I think this is definitely a disappointment that we don't get to share our culture with ourselves and the rest of the world. But guys, listen. If y'all want LITN to help y'all out, you know what I'm saying? Hit us up. We got you. You know what I'm saying? You can bring that right, but you don't got to go all the way to Atlanta.
You're right here to Philly, okay?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
bring it back. Bring it back.
And what I'm really going to miss is the fashion police. I mean, they come hard. Oh, yeah. They critique up and down. They will cut you up. If you're not put together correctly, they will cut you up. And if I was going... Y'all would never have the chance, okay? Because I would have the hair, the makeup, the wardrobe. LRTN would have been looking,
hey.
All right? Y'all would have never had the chance to come for us. Only compliments would be coming this way. I'm really going to miss that, you know? All that aspect of it, all the lights, the cameras, the action.
Yeah.
We really do hope whoever's in charge of the Liberian Entertainment Awards still consider, like, letting it take place. It don't have to be like a big crowd of people so that we can still go by the corona, restrictions. It could probably just be like the artists and,
And LRTN.
And LRTN and some social media influencers have little hosts. We can social distance because we don't want to wear masks. Maybe like a face shield because the girls want to beat their face.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we don't want a face mask. We want to beat the face. So we're still looking out for that, guys. Make sure you're following us again on all social media platforms because we will keep you guys updated about that. Now, in other news, let's talk about momagers. You know, the mom and the manager.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we know that there's a lot of momagers out there, and what a momager is someone who kind of like pushes their child to have this, lavish entertainment lifestyle because they want the best for their baby. Most of the time, they were in the entertainment business and didn't get as far as they really wanted to, but they had that, knowledge and idea to push their child. Sometimes it can be a little overbearing for their children, and it can be like really hindering towards them to do things that they really don't feel comfortable with.
Yes.
For example, the Kardashians. If you ever watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, you will know that Kris Jenner is the momager.
Yeah.
She will do anything to make sure that her two youngest daughters, Kylie and Kendall Jenner, do anything possible to get on the front scene. Even to the extent of having her daughter do a naked photo shoot. What do y'all think about that?
I'm really not surprised at it. You know what I mean? She kind of allowed her daughter to put out a sex tape and sell it for millions. One of her daughters, you know what I mean? This is
true.
This is not some, especially for the Kardashians, no shade or no nothing like that, but this is nothing new for them. This is how they create their revenue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to be quite honest, nowadays, sex sells. We're going to have to be honest. Sex sells. So she's like, look, listen, whatever you have to do to get us, because I was a real famous lawyer. But you know what I mean? In our era, they became known because of salacious things, So it's like, I'm not really surprised, but also you have to know the industry that you're getting into, That's what happens in the industry sometimes. Sometimes you're going to have to show a little skin.
I can disagree with that. You have to show a little skin, I understand. A little skin is like belly button, maybe off the shoulder, maybe a little chest. She was completely naked. And it was for a fashion designer, guys. And all the designer gave her to wear were earrings, sunglasses, shoes, and a bag. She was completely naked. Where's the fashion? Where's the clothes? I didn't see it. And then again, she also looked at her mother and was like, her mom's like, do it. Take it off. get naked. The money, the fame was coming. So here she is holding her little bag, her little boobie, and covering her little hoo-ha. Like, no. And mind you guys, it's not just like it's her mom, and the photographer. It's her mom, the photographer, the hairstylist, okay? The people from the TV show, the Keeping Up with the Kardashians, which is probably like a good 13 people carrying around cameras behind them. All of those people saw her little baby girl's private part. Is it really worth it? I don't think so. What do you think, Daryl?
I mean, personally, I think the beautiful part of like having a momager would be that, you know, you're going to be protecting your child. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think, you know, your mother, you're going to be nurturing. You're like, listen, my baby don't feel comfortable doing this. We're not doing this. You know what I mean? Whereas other managers don't have that personal connection.
Yeah.
So you know,
understand
like
that.
they're like, oh, this for the money. You know, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, you could be a mom, and you could be a boss at the same time.
Yeah.
But I think you definitely have to have that, especially when you're working directly with your own child. You have to have that separation. Whereas, listen,
Yeah.
my child, and she said she wasn't comfortable. She
Yeah.
voiced the fact that she wasn't comfortable, and the mom pushed her still. I think that's a strain on your relationship. I
Yeah,
think
it is.
you're kind of forcing your child to give a part of herself up that she clearly was not comfortable doing, and you did it. I mean, like you don't. First of all, your family's already well known. It's not like y'all needed the money like that. Like
Really?
you have a beautiful daughter. Anybody else would have killed her
And put clothes on her.
Right. You know
Real
what I'm saying?
clothes, real fashion.
She's a runway model to begin with. You know what I mean?
she
So like
is.
that's
a
not
really
like
good
that.
one.
And then what else? Okay, there's other examples of momagers like Beyonce's mom was her manager.
Yeah.
Beyonce's mom was managing for a while. Beyonce's mom was not having her doing these salacious type of
Yeah.
at a young age, and I'm
Right.
sure if Beyonce wasn't comfortable with it, I mean I don't know them like that, but I'm
Well,
sure if she was not comfortable
yeah.
with it, she wouldn't like force her daughter to do it. You know what I mean? Even though like, and that's like hip hop too. You know what I mean? Like it's more skin. You know, is like. But I can't give, you know, I can't give my full, I don't know y'all like that. So, but in my head, I don't think Miss Knowles would do that to Beyonce, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
I don't think
know.
she would either.
You know,
Because
I don't know what be happening.
Beyonce kind of stayed in her like age range. You know, she went from that
yeah,
child.
that's what I'm, yeah.
She was a. We're gonna talk about Queen Bee. Let's talk about it.
She had a long
Because she
career.
was a really good artist. Like whoever her momager, her mom really, you know, maneuvered her from this child artist all the way up to this adult artist. It was a really beautiful transition. When we were younger kids, we didn't see anything inappropriate that Beyonce was doing. She started to do her thing, get a little, you know, sexual in the age that she was supposed to, you know?
Yeah.
So her momager did a fantastic job.
I think the first time I saw Beyonce like wearing something that I was like, whoa. What's some she was wearing? Like the booty shorts and
Bootylicious.
no, not even Bootylicious. It was
Crazy in Love.
Crazy in Love.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
that was the
okay.
first time I think I ever saw like Beyonce in like something that I was like, whoa. And that was just booty shorts, not nude campaign. You know what I mean?
Like, I mean, first of all, drive her all at the partition, please. Like, no, let me stop. But yeah, I kind of agree with you guys. Just in the aspect of if it's at the expense of your child's, I don't know why I'm using that word a lot today, expense, but we're gonna say it. At the expense of your child's mental, I think you should be careful as far as pushing your child to certain extents. But like, B have done a couple of nude shots. You remember when she was pregnant?
I mean,
But how
she's
old
an
was she?
adult.
Pregnant.
Yes, she was an adult. She
And
was-
there's
I'm
no
sure
mommy.
that was
There's
the
no
exact-
momager.
Of course.
No
I'm sure she would never have Blue Ivy do something like that at 16, 17,
But
18.
Yeah.
not 16 or 17.
Maybe not even, I don't think
Maybe
she would
not.
even do that at 20.
Yeah,
Maybe not
seriously.
even 18, but like, come on. I understand where you guys are coming from. If it comes to a child, there's a difference between a child and an adult. At the age of 18, you have the right to make your own decisions. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Now, granted, if you respect your parents and you understand your parents, you know what I mean, and you believe that your parents is doing what's best for you, I understand that also. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just a little bit of that push because of the confidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know? And if we're going to be quite frank, in that situation with Kendall was more of the more sheltered child. She was
Exactly
not
why
the
she
one,
shouldn't have did that.
not the one to really be in front of the camera like that.
Right.
But if her mom didn't push her, you know what I mean? If her mom honestly didn't push her, she probably would not be the fantastic supermodel that she is now. you know.
Maybe it would have happened more on Kendall's time. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
Kendall,
it was gonna happen regardless.
Yeah, I
it was
understand.
gonna happen regardless. Yeah.
Because she, not saying that her mom pushed her into modeling, she already wanted to be a model.
Yeah, that's true.
It was something that she already, had in her mind. She wanted to be a model. And something, if you watch the show, you see as a child, she always used to walk around in high heels, like Kim's high heels, and wear her bags and things. She always wanted to be a model. She always loved fashion. So it's not like nothing new. I think it was just an uncomfortable thing for her to understand. Granted, I guess it was like kind of a good lesson for her to understand. Like, hey, being a model and being a top-notch model, naked pictures is something that they do, which is a no-no for me. Y'all can keep your naked selves under the clothes. I want to see the fashion. I don't want to know what you look like with earrings on. I could just see a close-up for that.
Yeah, well, honestly, yeah, if it came down to like earrings.
Yeah, just like do a headshot.
But like, certain campaigns do require people to go nude sometimes.
Yeah, I get it.
So like, if it's done in a tasteful manner, then of course. But if it's like crossing that line between being classy and then awfully trashy, then obviously no. I'm sorry.
And speaking of another artist that has a momager, Burna Boy actually was managed by his mom and still is managed by his mom to this day.
Now, do you think Burna Boy's mom is having him do nude campaigns?
That woman, she's definitely not doing that. But just look at how well-rounded Burna Boy is.
Yes.
So no offense to anyone who's like on the other side of Africa, but we can see the level of respect and grace that African parents do teach their children, how to carry themselves gracefully. You don't really see too much like social media things about Burna Boy acting out. He just makes good music and does his thing gracefully with pride. He really carries himself like what he says, an African giant, like a king. So his momager was on point with that. All right, guys. So that's the end of my segment. And we'll be right back after this short and cute commercial break.
Hi, I'm JD African Restaurant. I'm the owner. It's located on 880 Main Street. And shout out to LRTN.
Good afternoon, everyone out there in the diaspora. I'm Samuel E. Greaves of the ANC Global Delaware Valley Chapter, and I extend you greetings and best wishes. And I want to also extend my thanks and appreciation to LRTN for the job done in the community. Keep up the good work, guys.
And we're back from our commercial break. For today's spotlight, we will be highlighting a very special young man who's doing amazing things in our community. Megaris and Daryl had the opportunity to meet him. But before I start blabbing on about everything he's done, watch this quick video.
My name is Jawar Don, and I am a Liberian-American young man in Darby Borough. And I am a Democratic candidate for mayor of Darby Borough. My core values, I would say, probably my top three would be transparency, honesty, and service. And I would say probably servant leadership instead of service, actually. I have practiced that all throughout my political career and all throughout my public service career. I exemplify that very well in my alma mater, Bloomsburg University, when I was elected as the first student government president, the second actually student government president of color at the university. And I branded myself on honesty, on transparency, and servant leadership. And I'm bringing the same thing right here to Darby Borough. My formal education, I'm product of the Archdiocese of Philadelphia, the Archdiocesan School. I attended Mary Mother of Peace Catholic Area School, the local elementary school in southwestern Philadelphia, and left Mary Mother of Peace and went on to Roman Catholic High School for Young Men in Center City, Philadelphia, where I completed my high school degree. I was a Monsignor Mitchell Scholar at Roman while I was at Roman. And I performed well academically as well while at Roman, that I was able to land a full academic scholarship to Bloomsburg University, which is where I ultimately graduated May of 2019 with a bachelor's in political science. And I am currently at Westchester University pursuing a master's in public administration. Personally, my favorite sport is football, and I did play from elementary school all the way to high school. Unfortunately, didn't play in college because I became too busy with, you know, public service and, you know, obviously being on a full academic scholarship and all of those things, I had to prioritize certain things. And unfortunately, I didn't prioritize sports as much as I did, you know, everything else. But I also played soccer. I played soccer or football, as we the Liberian community will call it. And I did wrestling and I did track. You know, wrestling, I wrestled in high school. And I only started in high school, and I was able to qualify for the regionals championship and our district championship and our regional championship as a wrestler. And track, I was able to participate in our regional and our district championship, but I was also able to participate in Penn relays and eventually in the Olympics in track as well. You know, growing up, I always thought my goal, or even if you check my elementary school yearbook, you will see in there that I describe my future career as a professional athlete. And obviously, you know, playing all of those sports growing up. It prompted me to study political science was very simple, you know, the same thing, sports. You know, as I did sports, I was always in some kind of leadership roles in the field or on the court or on the track. You know, I was always the captain. I was always the one encouraging others to do better. So I ended up studying political science for undergrad for some of those reasons, you know, being that I just was naturally always in a capacity or always in some kind of situation. I ended up being a leader, and I did just that. But my grandfather also was very involved in public service. My late grandfather, Jimmy Don, he was paramount chief for Nimba County. And he was, while he did serve in Liberia, he also came to America, I believe, back in the 80s. And he was very involved in the 80s and 90s, and he was very involved when he came to America. As a matter of fact, he actually visited the White House a couple times with Jimmy Carter, and a few different American presidents actually invited him to the White House, where he, you know, he represented Liberia and the immigrant community very well. So I wouldn't necessarily say that's what motivated me, but I also do want to make sure I can acknowledge that, you know, I did have family that actually did do some public service work. The position I'm running for is mayor of the borough, and there is the only spelled out duty for the mayor of Darby Borough is very different from a city like Philadelphia, which is our neighboring city. However, the only spelled out duty of the mayor is oversight over the police department, our local police department. However, the mayor does have discretion to, you know, initiate other initiatives in the community, whether it be town halls or, you know, programs for the youth or, you know, different things of that nature. And I unfortunately haven't seen that in my current mayor, in my current leadership, which is exactly one of the reasons why I'm running. I think, you know, a priority of mine, and probably it should be a priority of everybody's, would be, you know, programs and initiatives for the youth first and foremost. An initiative that I definitely am going to prioritize is making sure that, you know, our youth have things to keep them busy. And most of it will be obviously educational experiences. I'm currently working with two different nonprofits that work directly with the youth in our community. One being Focus Athletics, which work with young men that have potential to be Division I athletes and potentially NFL athletes right here in our community, but don't really have the support to make that happen. And, you know, Focus Athletics does a great job in making sure that, you know, these young people can get the support that they need, you know, whether if it's SAT tutoring or just school tutoring or knowing how to properly lift weights in the gym or, you know, knowing how to properly do a certain technique or something like that. But in Darby Borough specifically, I personally growing up, I played sports, like I said, but I never played for a team here in Darby, because we didn't really have that much. For one, my parents didn't deem the community safe enough to have me here. That's issue number one. And for two, there wasn't many resources that the kids can actually utilize. So when I become mayor, that's going to be a priority of mine. We're going to make sure we have infrastructures in place for our young people to be able to actually stay in their community, so I don't have to go over to the next borough in Collindale where I played sports, or to Philadelphia where I also played sports. I can stay right here in my own community as a young person and be able to learn many valuable leadership skills through sports. Personally, I think what I would love to highlight about Darby and what really motivates me about my community the most is the diversity of the community. And Darby is literally a microcosm of what America is. You know, I'm sure for those that were educated here in America that are watching, we all heard about the melting pot growing up. We all heard about that in our social studies classes. Darby Borough is literally that, you know, and this is what America is, and I think that's the beauty of my community. I really hope people don't take my Liberian card away from me for saying this, but believe it or not, my favorite soup is not, you know, the favorites of Liberians. You know, I know usually a lot of people will say tobagi or cassava leaf and potato grits, but my personal favorite soup, weirdly enough, is pumpkin. So I know, you know, a lot. Usually when I say that, a lot of people just laugh about it. But yeah, that's actually my favorite soup, and I've always loved that. Since I've announced my candidacy, the immigrant community have been very energized, and they have been very supportive. But however, the most support you can give me right now is to show up on May 18th and actually vote. The money is great. The reposting of all of our platforms is great. But nothing equals coming out and actually voting so that we can actually make history right here in Darby Borough.
Wow. That was,
How amazing is that?
Yes.
amazing. So, I mean, to see somebody this young in our age group doing something so, you know, phenomenal, you're running for office, you know, this is kind of the dream of our parents, you know, I mean, this is what they work hard for. They came here to this country so we can have opportunities like this. And man, I'm just so happy that I work with LRT and that we are able to go and meet young people like this who are doing such great work. I mean, we met mayors, we met business owners, we met all this, but like to see somebody so young doing it, my man, I pray for the best for you. You are an inspiration to not just me, but other people coming under you in that community, back home. You're a light. The only thing I probably not got with you. Pumpkin soup? Seriously? But I forgive you for that
one. Likewise, like Daryl said, I'm grateful for the opportunity to have met future Mayor Don via LRTN, you know what I mean? But what was more amazing to me was the fact that he's not only taking that stance to want to be there for his community and make change for his community, but it's something that he's been doing literally what seems like his whole academic career.
Which is great.
I think that is super inspiring. And honestly, if by watching that video alone, just by hearing his story, if you're not inspired to want to actually make a change in your community or just do something ambitious in your life, you know what I mean, then that's sad to say, but womp womp for you. But shout outs to Don, you know what I mean? Definitely. And we support you here at LRTN. And definitely, if you're in Darby Borough, please do your due diligence, not only as a Liberian, but even as a minority. You know what I mean? Go out there and vote May 18th.
And what's wrong with pumpkin soup?
Listen, I just
pumpkin soup's sweet, man.
It's sweet, but like over cassava leaf, over tobagi.
Yes, it's good. I wouldn't say over.
To each his own.
I wouldn't say over any other soup, but it's sweet. I like it too.
Yeah.
But it brings me great joy, to see one of our very own and also a young black man, Liberian man, doing his thing and really running for such a high position. You're doing a phenomenal job. I'm so proud of you. We're proud of you. LRTN is proud of you. And we really hope you guys go out and vote. Get the young people involved to vote. If they're old enough to vote, please go ahead and register. It takes literally 5 minutes to do. You can do it on your phone just like you do everything else.
Yeah.
Go ahead and register and just step out for a couple seconds. Your job will let you off. If you got to vote, you got to vote. That's one thing I love about United States. They will let you vote. You got to go and vote. You got to go and you have to vote.
Listen.
So do your thing, okay?
Hey, to Darby Borough. Yeah, nah.
All right.
Support your mans, you feel me?
Okay.
Okay, guys, we'll be right back after these commercial breaks. Stay tuned.
How's my people doing? I hope y'all doing just fine. It's your boy T-Sweet reporting live. I want y'all to check out something real cool, man. Every Sunday at 7 o'clock. It's crazy. It goes down. How's my people doing? It's a new show. It's tough, provocative, and entertaining. You don't want to miss it. Make sure you jump in and listen. And invite your friends, your cousin, your auntie, your mama, your stepchildren, and everybody. Make sure y'all tune in, man. It's all going down at LRTN TV, Liberia Radio and Television Network. Look, this is superb. And if you miss it, you miss out on your entire life. Be there. T-Sweet. Peace.
And we're back with How's My People. It's episode 7 with your favorite cast that was sent from heaven. Now you know you're rocking with your boy, Mr. Taboo, and you know we're about to give you all the scoop because that's what we came here to do. So for today's episode, or for today's section of Taboo Topics, we have a real special edition. Guys, welcome to How's My People Family Court.
Ooh.
Now, typically, family courts, they discuss cases on divorce, child custody, domestic violence, domestic abuse, child abuse, but most importantly, also child support.
Yeah.
So today we're going to review a couple of cases, and my jury and I are going to render a verdict. But I do ask that for the rest of the episode, please refer to me as the Honorable Judge Jackson. Let's get into it. So, case 1. Boy meets girl, girl meets boy. They get into a relationship, they fall in love, and they conceive a child. But somewhere down the line, their relationship goes sour. Real sour. This case is the case of the deadbeat dad.
You on your own, my son.
So we all know, the mother usually takes care of the child and the dad is not in the child's life, whether that's monetary or otherwise. The mother does need help to financially support the child. The question is, do you believe that the mother deserves child support?
Yes, of course.
Why so?
Because the father isn't in life and he's not doing his job. So someone needs to take care of the child. And it's hard for a single mother to take care of a child with all the requirements that children need these days. And then also to make them feel equal to their peers.
Yes.
You don't want your child to feel left out like they don't have everything that other children have. So not only do you want to just give them the basic needs, you also want to give them the luxury needs, and you want to give them the best that you can. Not just food, a shelter, and clothes. You want to give them nice clothes, good food, a nice place to live, and a good place to lay their head. So definitely the father needs to pay the child support. Stop playing. I'll be right at that courtroom.
Okay.
Where my money?
Well, now, listen, if we can handle this as our court, I think we should, you know what I mean? But I only pay you, $200. No, honestly, no. I can't even get into it now, because I think that we should try to work things out. Listen, I'm working this much hours. I can't see my kid as much. You know what I mean? I'm sending you this much money. I think we should work as a team. I think if the man is not doing what he's supposed to do, he's not stepping up, take his butt to court. You know what I mean? Make sure that man is being held responsible if he's not doing his part, for sure. So. You guilty, my son?
I do believe, I agree with you guys. I do believe that if you're not in the child's life at all, you know what I mean? You do have to pay up because it takes two to tango. It takes two to make a child. So the child shouldn't just be left on the mother's care. Whether or not the father wanted the child or not, that's not up to the father to decide. It's kind of a mutual decision, but you should be in your child's life regardless. Right. As a man, that's what you should want to do.
Right.
But hey, who am I to tell people how to live their lives? But you will pay that child support.
Amen.
Case 2 in session. So now, this is the case of the bitter baby mother. Okay? So, this case, guys, is a little funny, okay? I mean, the mother is using the child as a pawn in this case. She wants to file for child support in court. But what she forgot to tell us is the father is in the child's life. The father is doing everything possible to be there for the child, but not for the mother. do you think that the mother deserves or should be awarded child support?
Daryl, I'll have you go first with this one.
Okay, so for this one, this is not fair. You know what I'm saying? Especially for all people, it's a child. Because a lot of these times with the bitter baby mamas, you know, they talk so much trash on the father. And listen, the guy's in the child's life. The guy's paying for food. The guy's buying clothes. The guy wants to spend time with him, or you know, him, her, or the child, and you're not letting. That's your fault. You can't use your child as a pawn. You're gonna end up breaking so many relationships and causing traumas. You know what I mean? Like the child's gonna resent the father later on when the child finds out what you're doing and like how you're treating him or her as that pawn. The child's gonna resent you. You know what I mean? And then so on, so on, and so on. But like, bruh, just let. If you find a good man who wants to be in their own child's life, let them. Why would you not? You know what I mean? I think a lot of the time when we're talking about the bitter baby mamas, they want the child support money, but they don't want the child to see their parents because they don't want the father to influence the child into like not being on their side. You know what I mean? They kind of like make the child pick sides, which is not fair. You know what I mean? This is the child is half of you and half of the other person.
Right.
You have to respect that. You know what I mean? You might not like the child, but not like the father, but you better let the child. But you might not like the father, but you have to understand that child is still half of somebody else. You got to respect that.
I think a lot of the reasons why there's the bitter baby mom, it could be because there's still some feelings attached to that guy.
Of course.
He want you no more.
And they still want him. And most of the time, this guy, you know, has a baby by them, and they've been pregnant for 9 months. Now they have to stay home, take care of the child, and the dad goes and live their Vila Loca. You know, they live their best life. So they have this like, I want you back, but I'm so hurt by you. And then it's also, oh, you're in Bahamas. Oh, you buying Gucci. Oh, you taking flights, chilling with your boys. But I'm spending all my money, you know, on my child, and any money that I want to spend on myself, I'm spending towards my child, because mothers are naturally, you know, nurturing. And when you become a mom, from what I've heard, you know, you can have the option of buying yourself something and buying your child something. You would buy your child something, even if they already have it, because you just want to do everything you can to make them happy. So when they see the dad out there living their best life, they get this kind of like bitter feeling and this bitter taste out to make sure they do anything they can to make them miserable. And the best way to do that is doing child support, because the court is more lenient towards the woman, and they most likely will still give the woman child support, even if the scenario is like this one, which is sad, but it's the truth. Most of the time they will, unless the father has some type of proof that the mother isn't stable or she's all over the place. Most of the time they will grant that mother the child support, especially if she's the one claiming the child and the child is like with her. But my opinion towards it is, please don't do it, Mom. Please stop it. Stop it. That man won't take care of your child, giving you money.
Yeah.
And then I've heard, this is the craziest circumstance that I've heard. Not only was from what I heard, not only was the father giving child support, he was also taking care of the rent, the car insurance, and this woman still wanted to put the father on child support, and also taking care of her like maintenance, like taking care of her hair, her nails, make sure she looked good, and the child. And she was like, I still want to put you on child support. That's just a bitter baby mama. They didn't want the child to go over to the dad's house because of the other girl that was there. You're going to have to let that go, okay? Like, let it go. At the end of the day, if he's doing what he's supposed to do, and if he's going the extra mile to take care of you as well, and wants to spend time with his child, just let him do it. You know, hold your heart, think about your child that you love so much, and just let it go.
This is why I said this case is super, super funny, because a lot of the times when we hear about cases like this, it's the fact that the girl wants the guy, but hey, he doesn't want you, sis. Move on. But facts are facts. If he's here taking care of his child, that's his only real obligation. He is not obligated to pay your rent, your car insurance, any other miscellaneous expense that you need to upkeep yourself. That is not his duty. So the fact, if your baby father goes out of his way to make sure that not only the child is well kept, but you are well kept, what's the purpose of you taking him to child support? You know what I mean? At this point in time, you're just bitter. And in this court, in House My People court, you will not. Well, you will be awarded. Well, no, actually, I lied. You will not be awarded child support, but there will be a agreement settlement that hey, the father should continue to take care of the child and provide receipts that he is taking care of the child.
Yeah.
And no, he does not have to take care of your miscellaneous expense. God forbid, if
All
it's
right.
an extreme circumstance where you might need some help, then if he's a gentleman, then yes, but
Doesn't have to do
he
it.
doesn't have
But
to do it.
Judge McGarrett, I have a question.
Honorable.
Honorable Judge McGarrett. May I speak?
Yes.
Well, you know, it can also be vice versa. I heard of many different situations where the father doesn't want to take care of his child because of the fact that he's not with the mother. And he stepped away because mother doesn't want to be with him anymore. So you don't want to be with me, well then I don't want to be with the child. I don't want to have nothing to do with
Well,
you.
that's a different case, but how I would view that case and what my verdict and what we should agree on in this court is you will be mother, you will be awarded child support. And
Yes.
my guy, you will have to pay that child support.
Plus back child support.
And that's very feminine activity.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
So whoever is, that child's like living with predominantly, because you're not guessing the child's not going to be going to two different schools, right?
Right.
So if you're living with whichever parent and they go into the school in that district or whatever, private school without one parent, whoever has the child the most, the other one should be paying, you know what I mean? And I think you guys should make it equal, you know what I mean? Like, be fair, you know what I mean?
It's a 50-50.
Yeah. But what I wanted to bring up, like, I didn't even think about this, but like, I've heard cases where the baby mama is not spending the money on the child. The baby mama got new bundles. Her nails done, hair done,
everything
over here looking like
it has
Joe. You know what I mean?
right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And like the kid's not getting that love and attention, but the mom, and it's usually like the younger woman, you know what I mean, who like has that kid, and she's still in her partying state, and she bitter a man with her. You know what I mean?
But in that case, it's the fact that she didn't really want the child. She kept the child because she thought that she was going to keep the man.
Oh,
and
yes.
a lot of times, especially these younger girls, because real life, we have babies having babies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
for the sake of trying to keep a union and keep the relationship.
Right.
You know what I mean? Women, I would say these little girls are not ready to actually be mothers, but because they think that this baby would be that linkage to that man, that this man will have to speak to me. He will have to interact with me because we have this child together, and there's a possibility that, hey, he still wants this. You know what I mean? We can be a happy family. He would want his family back, so they keep the child.
But not only do girls, want to have a baby to keep the man, sometimes the guys trap the females, to keep them under their arm. So it's not only like the girls are out here doing, the men are out here doing it too. Yeah. So they can trap them down, make them be stay-at-home baby mamas, and they can go out and do their thing however they want to do it. And we got to sit home and take care of baby pregnant for 9 months, push it out in our body all over the place. No, it's not happening.
And then that's why a lot of these guys get on child support. And a lot of the time, all that back child support that you feel like you're not going to pay, it comes back up and it swoops you right off your feet.
I think if that guy is not doing his part and paying that money, you should do it sooner or later. One, so you can save the next, because he think, I'm getting away with it. I could just drop my kid, have the babies here, there, or whatever, drop the kids off, and do what I gotta do. Once he know, oh snap, this actually comes with some financial responsibility, and I'm gonna have to do what I gotta do. He gonna put that rubber on. I bet you. I bet you he gonna put that rubber on.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
But look,
today,
can I say one more thing, please? I noticed that in the Liberian community or the African community, child support is shamed upon.
Yeah.
It's highly shamed upon, and it's also because it's this shame that they mostly put on the females. Like, oh, how you carrying a man with child support? Manja, hold your high, take care of your child. No, he's not doing his job. But he's gonna be on child support. We're not gonna like pick and choose, because this. I feel like there's this thing with like African people where they always want us women to be tough and to turn the other cheek. We don't want to turn the other cheek. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. Me and you had this child together, and now because I'm ready to walk away and you're not doing your thing, you want me to stay with you? No, I'm not. And you're not going to take care of this child? Oh, okay. I'll see you in court on Monday morning with Judge Judy, or Honorable Judge McGarris.
But to kind of like, correlate what you're saying, in that case, a lot of African women, they don't take their baby fathers for child support because of the fact in their mind, they are strong women. So some of those women think that, hey, I don't need you, and neither does this child. And when this child does become something in life, you now don't have the rights to claim that child. This is my child. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that kind of goes hand in hand. You know what I mean? But hey, listen, we gotta close court soon. So we're gonna give our audience the verdict for today. And the verdict is, before you even think about having a child, there are 3 things that you need to do. First things first is wrap it up or get on birth control. They're called contraceptives, okay? You need to protect yourself if you do not want to have child support or be on child support, or be in court every other week. Secondly, you need to really, really sit down and evaluate the people that you sleep with. You know what I mean? You need to know the characteristics of the person that you're having a baby with. God forbid if the relationship doesn't work out, you will know how that person will carry themselves, and carry the situation and the issue at hand. You need to know the person that you're dealing with first and foremost. Thirdly, before even engaging in having a child, you need to understand that you guys are bringing a real life human being.
Right.
This is not a toy. This is a person. So that conflict can cause real life mental issues for that child. You know what I mean? You don't want your child to have to endure all that back and forth and wanting to pick between which parent they want to stay with, which parent is better for them. Y'all should be able to agree upon something if the relationship doesn't work out. That is it for How's My People Court. Join us next week when we'll be having another case on child abuse.
Ooh.
For today, court is adjourned. And we'll be right back after this commercial break.
My name is Rafina Tuan Bracewell. I'm here today with LRTN. We are on Woodland Avenue in the Chase African American grocery store. We have fufu powder, we have palm butter, we have cassava leaves. We even have body care like creams and soap. We have wigs for the hair. So, come down and join us. We're gonna meet all your house food and kitchen needs.
And we're back. Thank you guys for joining us. All right, it's that time of the night. It's time for us to talk to our favorite Papito. Papito, you there?
Yeah, how you doing?
Where you at now, Papito?
I said up to them. Where you go? I ain't up here.
Yep. You in Liberia? What you doing there?
Yeah, I ain't up here. I don't send about the money to go pay me kita, and I ain't up here. One of my friends from Clinton, they call him Mr. Moipi. He met the hassle. He moved to the
sorry.
I had to come. So we get buried in there. So I ain't up here yet. I came with some people there. All about him like that. Yeah. I was in the show. I was telling my friend and Karen, they were looking at it to me because they said, the people ain't get data yet. So I'm a tablet. Tablet, the thing is small, tablet, Mandara says you have a tablet of our car.
Not the one most guy, eh?
Yeah, so I got it. So we were looking at it, all of this, laughing. They asked me if they said, I said, yeah. I know all the government. Now people you're talking about, the people that die, man.
Yeah.
I know one girl there.
Really a tragedy.
One of the girls I saw on the Facebook, I know her, that my friend, she lives in that area. They tell people that get graduated from university. Yeah. There's feeling that can go on in the country, but generator building. That's why you see the people can take the generator and they put it in the hall. So the people will not see it. Because you put it outside, the people will see it.
Yeah.
So I think that what happened, and they put that generator inside the piano, the smoke for it. They said I think a kid kill the people there. Kill all of them. They did a minute said it. Oh, I feel so bad because they got small children. That people leader there, small children there. They die in a place. 10 person. What? That people can get me you. How will they come for baby baby and get it all away? It just spoil my heart. It spoil my heart, tell you. That thing you're talking about. Bernie Samoka. You see Bernie Samoka, that man that the Luba people vote for that man. They have one other man in a player they call Abu Kiri Kamara. The man was so well I don't know that this is wedding, looking down here I think. It's really bad if you are having an election here. The ruling party, you want a ruling party ticket. That man, they say the plane was working. You were taking money for that. When you were working, you were taking money for that. You not sort of be there. He left the job and everything. He wanted to run. So he leave the place. I know he moved to a different job. I know the story that I can't remember, but I know he was taking the money when I was working somewhere. He was taking the money, eating the money. So he went, they went and forced the man and he represented them and the man to go in the house. So the other people that are, the other opposition people that are, they tell the other man to the man, and the other man to the man get public money. They tell the man to get it. So they say, what you do for Peter, you must do it for Paul.
So the backstory.
Exactly. They see the country going.
Like that peace square all over.
I don't want to say that because in Australia, in the first place there, the people that are taking the people that are going to go for Canada. In the whole party, the whole Liberia, you get nobody there. You don't know the people that got problems there. Wow. So everybody's fighting for the euro here. Everybody gets somebody that's fighting for them. All my people. That's crazy. I know. Then I listen to that boy talking about Panto. That boy, you say, yeah, that's what you. When you see the people, they can dance. When you see the people dancing out, skinny ball, skinny Panto. For the poor man. There's that boy, you say, yeah. Now people say, I happen at least. I'm coming to America. Hey man, I wish that boy would come bring on your network.
He's always invited.
By force, he will come here.
Yeah, I want that boy would come there so he can stay with y'all. And yeah, you're talking. There's that period talking. So he can listen to you and see how you can talk. If you have no ticket, what is I can call it? You have no book. So you can ready when you're talking. Yeah. I hope you will come to York. I'm telling you. They all are now when we are coming to talk about this, and I think they got child support. That child support in there. I don't know what we want to see. It was small. In a period, our parents there, they used our mom. I see my mom and papa making flour. I'm glad because maybe my mom was not working. So papa and mom never have problem to tell papa who's going to go to school, you sort of pay the one, or you're not paying the one, or that the gas bill, or the woman let you. You know the boy, you talk there, the boy get earring, you fly your hair, then you think the boy will let you, then you go for people there, the people do say that, they all of your confused, they are going to court. Then you say, oh, they get $2,000. Then they say, oh, I'm making $2,000. Some of the boys that say, I'm working again, I won't go to jail. Because I'm going to wear the ticket, then oh, they tell us that. They charge there too. They charge us with the mandala. They charge us selling drugs. You see, the way they can do things in America there is different. I can see that. And I can see the reporters just working. They all get it there. They're taking care of it. So if you go charge, you just take care of the charge, you go to court. You will pay that money. Nobody's going to tell you, say, take care of your charge. And when you see the girls, you dressing with high, you all in the play there, shaking herself in a club that the place, you go over there, I have no trouble.
You can't see people.
The way of man is supposed to look at the woman, let her my character. Look at the woman, look at the woman as of friend. Who they get? Who again? She go to school, she working.
Right.
Look at her. Look at all the things that before you go born with it. And look at people where you do it. You get that job where you go do it. Bring them in the game, if I'm going to bring together to come here, to come to the family, okay, they're working. So when they see one everyone in that training hall. So when they see business law, one thing about America left, before you get a paycheck, no credit. It just comes from there. And that's it. So it's a problem. I hope they will really listen to you. You can really educate people there. And I can enjoy them. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the show. My friend, you want to yeah. The people that, yeah, they're not doing it. The people that get listen to all of them, I mean, all my friends get I'm working out of the you. Yo, I can tell it. What's up, man? How you doing? Yo.
Oh,
what's up, man? I see you, yeah.
All right.
All right. Be safe, Adele. Be safe.
All right.
Man, I'm in prison.
I mean, he was saying some truth.
Yeah.
All right, even though there was a little shady.
A little shady.
Saying some truth.
What is the shade? That truth thing he's speaking. He not
shade. Where shade?
He ain't throw no shade. He shine that light.
Okay.
But guys, you guys know what time it is, and it's time for our social handles. So if you haven't already, please follow LRTN on all social platforms. That's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. Follow us. If you haven't visited our website yet, please visit our website at www.lrtn-sdf.org. Again, that's www.lrtn-sdf.org. We'll be looking forward to seeing your views on our videos. Let's run it up. People will say, let's run it up. Let's run it up. Run up them views.
Like a track style.
You know what I mean? Run up them views. Share. Show your grandpa, your grandmas, your uncles, your aunts, everyone. Let's keep it circulating. But that's it for today. We are your hosts.
-1.
-1.
You forget, but
we love you.
We love you, Quinnia. But I'm Magaris Jackson.
Fisha Shade.
Derek Kennedy.
And we are signing out. But
And
remember, we're here, we're there, we're everywhere.
I swear I was gonna give you, yeah. It's not a comeback, y'all. One chicken, why? Let's go. Just Prince on the beat. Chicken, yeah. Chicken. Let go. Pass up chicken, yeah. Let go. Chicken. Country chicken.